Hola, hola, it's your girl Erica from America. Welcome to the Confidence Chronicles podcast. This podcast is all about helping you stand in who you are. Stop giving a fuck what people think about you. Start standing as your fully expressed self. As you are, as is, there is no filter needed. You are fucking awesome, and I am here to remind you. I'm a confidence coach, and I'm a bold stand for confidence, and I cannot wait to dig into today's episode with you. Hello, my fam bams. Welcome to the podcast. How are you? I'm so excited that you're here. If it's your first time, welcome. If you've been listening for a while, I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'm blowing you kisses and giving you air hugs, virtual air hugs, audio air hugs, because I appreciate you so damn much. I just love you. And today's episode is brought to you by an amazing listener who is actually one of my Instagram followers, and her name is Cynthia, and she's amazing, and she's from Melbourne. And Cynthia hit me up with a question, and sometimes you guys send me the most amazing ideas and questions and topics. So if you have a topic that you think I should be speaking about, please hit me up on Instagram or email me support@thequeenofconfidence.com. I would love to hear from you. So Cynthia had a topic that, to be honest, I myself don't feel like I'm going to struggle with coming out of COVID with confidence, coming out of COVID without anxiety and being stressed and overwhelmed and sensory overload where you're socializing with people. I personally myself don't feel like I'll struggle with that, but I think a lot of people will, and a lot of my listeners will, and maybe you are one of them. Maybe you're one of those people who are excited that lockdowns are going to end and that COVID, maybe will diminish, or we will find a way to get used to living this way, or something will happen and we're going to go back out into the world and see humans and see people and be around people. You're going to have to go back to work. Cynthia works as a hairdresser, and so obviously, she's seeing people. There are people coming in and out of the hair salon in Melbourne, Australia. They just opened up hair salons, and we've been in lockdown for like 7 months. So it is really overwhelming. And I think that one of the crazy things about this situation that we're in, that we've never been in before, is that so many people think different things and feel different things about this particular COVID pandemic situation. And the reality is that it doesn't matter if me and you don't agree. It doesn't matter if what I think you don't think. What matters is that we have to co-create and collaborate and work together, on this planet, in our work environments, on our streets, in our neighborhoods, at local pharmacies or grocery stores or shopping centers. We're going to be hitting people up. We're going to be intermixing with other humans. And so it's really important, this topic, because I realized that although I'm not struggling with worrying or getting anxiety about being around a bunch of humans, a lot of us are. And for many reasons. If you've been watching the news or just listening to any kind of media, there's been a lot of fear out there. We have been told that other people are what gives us COVID. In some cases, we've been told that our family members are the ones who are most likely to give it to us. We've been told that it's going to be deadly for the elderly or deadly for people. I have an autoimmune disorder. It's a skin disorder, and I need to do a podcast about that. But I'm not immune compromised. And there are people in our communities and in our families and in our friend circles that are immune compromised, diabetes, all of these things. So we have to really take notice that the information we're all getting is being received differently depending on the individual, depending on their thoughts, their beliefs, their background, their culture, their religion, everything, the country they're in. The country I'm from, America, is different right now with COVID than it is in Australia. We are on like some super serious, strict, especially Victoria. The whole country of Australia is not like this, but our state is really excessively strict. And I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying they are excessively strict compared to other parts of Australia and other parts of the world. Now, you speak to people in America and how they feel walking down the street versus somebody here, you're going to get a different thing. So if you are out there and you are thinking, holy shit, how am I going to get back to life? Like, how am I going to go back to being in an elevator with 8 humans, or on the train, with a bunch of people, or, my son, my 5-year-old, when we couldn't go out to playgrounds, he was funny about it. And we don't talk to him about coronavirus. The school, his childcare, was talking to him. And he goes to the playground and he loves kids. My son is super confident. I don't know where he gets it from, but, Raven is like, he's out there talking to people. And he was like, Mommy, I'm scared. I don't want to go on the playground. There's kids there. And I'm like, what do you mean? There's kids there. Yeah, go play. I thought he was going to run to children. And he got really weird and scared. And I was like, oh my God, is he getting like a bit of social anxiety? And, he got through it, but he was initially really scared. And we have to understand that this is going to be something we're all going to have to overcome. And so in today's episode, I guess what I wanted to tell you as a confidence coach, how I can assist or what I can say to you in order to come out of COVID with confidence and come out into the social world being a bit more confident in yourself, is that other people are going to be how they are. Meaning some people might be weird about you getting close to them. You don't have to take that as you needing to worry about it. Just know that other people have different thoughts and beliefs about this. That's first and foremost. Number two, if you yourself are that person, if you're fearful or scared of getting around people or overwhelmed by big groups, I want you to really check in with yourself. Where is that coming from? Is it coming from fear? Is it coming from something irrational that you're thinking and worrying about? Is it coming from your intuition and you genuinely don't feel good and you know in your gut that that's like, oh, that's dangerous, don't do it? Like, really pay attention to where these fears or these worries are coming from. Because you will get really good at understanding yourself. You will get really good at what decisions you need to make. This is about tapping into your intuition, your inner guidance, your inner voice. If the noise outside of you is really loud, your inner voice is really a whisper. And you need to get good at listening to yourself. So if you've been watching the news and it's been freaking you out and you've been scared and your mom and dad are telling you how dangerous it is, and then on top of that, your best friend is worried about it and you're on Instagram or Facebook and reading all the scary stuff, and then all of a sudden you got to go back to the office and there's a lot of people at your office, you're going to be listening to the external noise. You're not tuning into your internal wisdom. And internally, you might go, I'm not actually scared. I don't actually think something will happen to me. Why do I feel like this? So it's really important. That's probably the most important thing, is that you tune into how you feel. You have to know how you feel. You have to be comfortable for yourself. At the end of the day, I read an article and this guy was like, it's crazy that people on television tell us what we can and can't do. People on television will say, this is closed, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then people on television will go, by the way, everything's all good, go hang out with humans. And we're meant to not feel weird or scared when the same people on television said, no, don't do it. And now they're like, yeah, go, take your masks off, go be free, go hug and lick people's faces. I don't think anybody's going to tell us to lick anybody's face. That's just my secret desires. But can't wait to hug humans. Oh my God. But it's like, oh my gosh, actually, where are we getting the confidence to do these things? And so it's really a great thing for you to ask yourself, where are you coming from? Are you coming from fear? Are you coming from worry? Are you coming from being in the future, thinking the worst case scenario? Are you coming from your intuition? Are you thinking logically and critically? This is a really great time to start going, hold on, what do I want to believe? Maybe you need to research COVID. Maybe you need to understand it more. Maybe you need to create new rituals for yourself when you're going back to work. Maybe you need to wash your hands more than usual. Or maybe you need to, discuss something with your coworkers or the people in your life that you're going to be hanging out with. For me, I have this secret code that I'm going to have to tell my sisterhood women, are you a hugger or do you want me to kick your leg or touch your elbow? Because I want to come in for the hug, but some people might not be open to that. And I don't know, how do you read what people are open to after they come out of this pandemic and this lockdown? I know a lot of my friends are like, oh my God, I can't wait to hump your leg and hug you and jump on you and just kiss your face. I'm totally cool with that. I'm totally cool with people kissing my face and hugging me and they don't need to wash your hands. I'm okay with that. A lot of people probably are not okay with that. And it's not right or wrong. It's not right or wrong. I can't stress that enough. You just need to be comfortable with yourself and know that you can't make anybody do anything, and know that you don't have to believe fearful thoughts. You get to question how you feel. You get to question what you're thinking. Really, this is the time where we need to start critically thinking and going, okay, people are at my job, they're at work, they're next to me. Do I have an ability to get sick? Am I in worry? Am I in fear? And you guys, I've talked about this before. When you're in fear, when you are in that flight or fright response, your body is amazing. It puts you into that flight or fright. So it's literally thinking that something horrible is going to happen and you're going to die, and it goes into survival mode. So your body goes into survival mode, high stress, aka high stress. And that's great that we can do that. Our adrenals are shot, our cortisol levels fly up. All these hormones get created in order to put us into survival mode. But the problem is, if you're not actually in danger, if you're not actually about to run or freeze or, fight, and you're just at work and you're in survival mode, your body, your hormones, your adrenals, your cortisol, you're actually taking so much energy out of your body, and you're actually putting yourself at risk and lowering your immune system. So you're much more likely to then catch anything that's out in the air. You're much more likely to get the flu, or you're much more likely to catch COVID if your immune system is low because you're in high stress, high anxiety. So the best thing for you to do is to really manage your mind, is to really tune in with yourself. What do you need to feel safe? What do you need to feel comfortable with how things are going to start rolling for you? And by the way, just because I can lick people's faces and hug them doesn't mean that you should feel bad because you don't feel like that. If you are genuinely worried about your safety and you're not going to hug people and you're a little bit scared or anxious about it, that is okay as well. Like, it is expected in the world that we live in, with the news and the media and everything we got told. That's totally expected. What I'm saying to you is just check yourself and question, are you actually at risk? Question, are you in danger? Question, if you did get COVID, would you be okay? These are the things that I've done with my family. I've sat with my husband. I've sat with my in-laws who are in their 70s. I've sat with our kids. Me and my husband talk about this all the time. And I live my whole life like this. So this is not because of COVID, but if you want a little insight into how I live and how I'm so okay with everything, I genuinely try my hardest to surrender. I try my hardest to let go of the need to get it right and the need to know that everything's going to be perfect and amazing. I try my hardest to just trust the process. Recently my book is about to come out, and I sent these cookies to amazing people who I wanted to receive the cookies, pre-book launch gift, to pump up the book, to pump up that it was coming. And we packaged these cookies. We paid all this money to ship them. They're beautiful. We put them gently. We took them to the post. They shipped, and a few of them cracked. And the people got these boxes all fucked up and crumbled and cracked, right? And I'm like, of course my cookies crumbled. Of course they cracked. Of course, I'm talking about how confidence feels like shit in my book, and how you got to just roll with the punches and show up anyway through the imperfection. And then that happens. Now, I could have cried, been angry, been pissed off, lost a day, yelled at the post, got angry at the cookie lady. All this shit could have happened. But instead I was like, you know what? How do I know that that's not meant to happen? I am going to surrender. I'm going to trust that process and laugh it off and keep it moving. And I'm telling you, it is such an easier, less stressful way to live. And I don't expect that to happen for you straight away. But what I can tell you is, living on this side, when I think about myself in a situation where I have to go to the doctor for my boobs to check I got my breast implants out, and it's been 5 months, and I went for a checkup at the hospital, and it's like a COVID high risk hospital, and I'm just touching elevator buttons and shit. And obviously I'm washing my hands and using sanitizer. But at the end of the day, I had to just let go and trust that I'm going to be okay, and keep my mind right, keep my immune system well, be taking my vitamin C, exercising, dancing, being happy, listening to shit that makes me feel good, doing everything that I know that's going to keep my immune system high, keep my vibes high, and keep myself in good space. And if I catch COVID, I catch it. I also trust if I catch it, I was meant to catch it. And I also trust that if I catch it, I will get better. And I will do what I need to do to get better. And if I struggle with it, then I needed to struggle with it. I don't know, I just have this deep trust. I have a massive trust. And it didn't come overnight, by the way. It took a lot of time, a lot of self-work. A lot of the shit I tell you in my podcast episodes to do is what I do. I do it. And so you won't know. It is weird. I am excited. Others may be worried. Others may be scared. Others may be anxious. And I know that, and I hope that you know that as well. Because when you go out into the world with whatever belief or thought process or perspective you have, at least try to stand in the shoes of someone else. If you're stressed and anxious and worried, stand in the shoes of the lonely woman who lives alone, who's been dying for human connection. And she's excited. She's not worrying about space. She wants to hug someone. If you're that woman, think about the lady who's high risk and is, immune deficient and is very scared that she could get sick. Think about her. Right? Like, if we just put ourselves in other people's shoes, we can address this and become so much more respectful and less judgmental. Whatever you do, please don't judge someone because they're scared or because they're lovey-dovey and touchy-feely. I met a woman at the grocery store yesterday, and where I live, she recognized me. She's like, "Oh my God, you're the queen of confidence. I love you. I just want to hug you." And I wanted to be like, "Hug me, girl. I'll hug you." But I don't know, she really got really close to me and she took a photo with me and she really wanted to hug me. And I kind of just wanted to hug her back. But we're at the shopping center. People would have looked at us like we were breaking the law, because I'm pretty sure we would have been breaking the law of some kind. But it's like, she was clearly cool with it, and I'm cool with it. But just check yourself. How are you feeling about it? And think about why. I'm going to leave you with this. If you're stressed and anxious about going back to work and being in big groups, ask yourself why. What is it that's making you feel stressed and anxious? What is it that's making you feel worried? And if you can, write it down. If I were you, I would start journaling and being like, this is how I feel. I feel like this may happen. I feel like this may happen. I feel worried about this, that, and the other. And if this is you and you're feeling this and you write this down, you will get an opportunity to understand what's going on for you. What are the thoughts that you're thinking? What are the feelings that you're having? And if they are thoughts that are scary, things may happen, do the work on it. Go back to the podcast called How to Manage Your Mind. The Byron Katie 4 questions. Question that shit. Is it true that you're going to get sick? Is it true that you're this? Is it true? Can you know for sure? Or is this just a scary thought that's popping into your head because we've all been conditioned with how scary and crazy in the news and we should fear people? I don't know. You really have to start questioning why you feel the way you feel. Please use it as an opportunity to go deeper into yourself. Don't use it thinking that something's wrong with you or you're bad or you're anxious. Really take the time to question, why do I feel like this? What is coming up for me? I'm telling you right now, journaling is going to change the game for you, if this is you, to start discovering what's really going on. And the deeper you go, the more you can understand yourself. And understanding is all we're asking right now, right? If you can at least understand where you're coming from, it's going to help you address all of the things that are coming up for you. And it's going to help you to learn how to take better choices and understand what you need to do. And if you need to take a day off or have a time out, do what's right for you. Do what you need. I'm hoping that we get back to some kind of normal. I'm hoping that we can have live events and see people. And we're going to have to get used to living with this. It's not sustainable to stay locked down. It's not sustainable to live in fear, you guys. It's not sustainable. It's not helping us. It's not helping our immune system to be scared of this virus. And hopefully with time, they will learn more about it and they will understand what it actually is and how we can live and manage with it. But living in fear and being in worry and being in massive high anxiety and stress, that is not going to keep us healthy. That's not going to help our immune system and it's not going to help our mindset. So if that is you, I hope that this helps you. It is going to be sensory overload in the beginning. If you have had nothing and now you're open to everything, of course it's going to be like that. And this is why I do love what some other countries did. I love that some countries protected the vulnerable and protected the elderly and let everybody else keep going. I love that some countries did that because people didn't feel locked down. And when you lock people down, what do? The minute you let them go free, they going. Everybody's going everywhere. There's going to be fucking packed houses because it's human nature. When you say no, people want yes. When you lock down, when you hold down, when you use force, that's what happens. So please just check in with yourself. I hope that you have some tools, some thoughts, some ideas on how to move out of this with confidence, how to re-socialize. Speak to your children. If you have children and they're feeling anxious. I had a client his daughter was really anxious and she's a teenager. And this has been a crazy year for kids. Imagine high school like this. Imagine being in 6th grade and doing this, or your first year in school, 1st grade, and this is happening. So just sit with your children, ask them questions, listen to them. Ask them to write down how they feel if they're of age, and they can journal, or they can just speak to you. It's valid, you guys. Everything we feel, everything you feel, everything I feel, no one's feelings are not valid. Everybody's feelings are valid. Let's not make this against and for and anti and plus. It's this separation that's happened through this whole time is really, really horrible. It's the worst part about COVID, I feel. The separation. At the end of the day, we all get to feel how we want to feel. We can still coexist, work, and live together and be respectful of one another. I hope that this podcast has given you something to think about. And I hope that wherever you are listening to this, that there is some kind of normalcy coming your way. I hope that you're not living in fear. And I hope that if you are, that you have some ways and tools on how to start unpacking why, so that you can get to the root cause of it and sort it out. I love you so damn much. Thank you so much for being here. Cynthia, I love you. I honor you. I see you. Thank you, beautiful woman, for requesting this. And I'm sending you all my love. My love, so many of you have messaged me about the pre-order. And if you missed out, please do not worry. Please head to thequeenofconfidence.com and sign up for the wait list. As soon as that book is available, you will be the first to know. You will get an email from me with a link where you can purchase the book. I cannot wait for you to read this. I love you and I thank you. Head to thequeenofconfidence.com, sign up for the wait list, and I will email you as soon as that book is ready to go. I love you. Thank you so much for listening. I so appreciate your ears, your time, your energy, and your attention. Please do me a favor and head over to Apple iTunes, subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. Share this episode with a sister who you know needs to hear it. And if you feel called to, leave me a review. I'd love to know what you think about the podcast. I'd love to know how this information is helping you change your world. Thank you so much for being here. I know that there are many podcasts you could listen to, and I really appreciate you listening to mine. Have a gorgeous week, honey.